The space station drifted in silence near the edge of known space. It was not a place for families or laughter. It was built for repair work, supply storage, and quiet living. Only a few beings lived there, and most of them avoided each other. One of them was a human. His name was Elias Ward. He was tall, calm, and known for keeping to himself. The station record said he was a retired human engineer from the old war years. Most aliens did not ask more. Humans carried a reputation that made others uncomfortable. Dangerous when angry, fragile when weak, unpredictable always. Because of this, the station council decided he needed help. Not guards, not soldiers, but a maid. Someone to clean, maintain, and observe. Someone gentle and non-threatening. That is how Lyra arrived. Lyra belonged to a soft-skinned alien species known for obedience and care work. She was young by her kind, and this was her first off-world assignment. Her training files described humans in detail. Humans were said to be physically weak without armor, emotionally unstable, survivors only because of tools and machines. She believed every word. As she stepped into the human living sector, her hands trembled. The hallway lights were dim. Human design favored shadows and silence. It made her uneasy. She checked the room number again. Correct. Lyra took a deep breath and opened the door. The door slid open without a sound. Inside the room was simple. No weapons on the walls. No armor suits. No machines humming loudly. Just a table, a bed, and a wide window showing stars. Then she saw him. Elias stood near the window. His back was turned. He was not wearing armor. No exosuit. No protective gear. Just simple human clothing. Lyra froze. This was not what she expected. He was taller than she imagined. Stronger in shape than the training images showed. His posture was relaxed but steady, like someone always aware of his surroundings. He turned slowly. Their eyes met. Lyra felt her breath stop. There was no anger in his face. No hunger, no threat. Just calm, steady focus. His eyes held the weight of experience. Not wild, not soft, but controlled. She realized something was wrong with her. Training. Elias spoke first. "You must be the new maid," he said. His voice was low and even. No command. No sharp tone. Lyra nodded quickly. "Yes, sir, I am Lyra. I will clean and maintain this unit," she said. Her voice shook despite her effort. Elias noticed. "You do not need to call me sir," he said. Just Elias. That confused her. Humans demanded respect. Or so she was taught. She stepped inside slowly, keeping distance. Her senses searched for danger signals. There were none. Her heart beat faster for no clear reason. As she moved closer, she noticed scars on his arms. Old ones, faded, not from accidents but from battles. "You may begin whenever you like," Elias said, and turned back to the window. He trusted her. Just like that. Lyra started cleaning quietly. Every movement felt loud in the silent room. She kept watching him from the corner of her eye. He did not move. He did not watch her. He did not test her. Minutes passed. Her fear slowly shifted into curiosity. Why was he alone? Why did he hide his strength? Why did he feel more dangerous standing calmly than others did holding weapons? Without thinking, she spoke. "Are you not afraid of me?" she asked. Elias turned again. "Should I be?" he asked. Lyra struggled to answer. "I was trained that humans are cautious," she said. "Especially with aliens." He smiled faintly. Not amused. "Just tired. I have lived long enough to know fear wastes time." Elias said. That answer unsettled her more than any threat. She cleaned faster. Her mind filled with questions. Suddenly a sharp alarm cut through the station. Red lights flashed. "Emergency breach Sector 3, announced the station system." Lyra gasped. Her species reacted badly to alarms. Her body stiffened. Elias moved instantly. "Stay behind me," he said calmly. He stepped forward, placing himself between Lyra and the door. No armor. No weapon. No panic. Only readiness. The floor vibrated slightly. Something was wrong outside. Lyra could sense danger approaching. She looked at his back. Wide, steady, unshaking. This was not a weak being. This was someone choosing restraint. The door began to shake. Lyra realized something in that moment. The galaxy did not fear humans. Because they were violent, the galaxy feared them. Because they could be calm when they should not be. And she had just stepped into the life of one. The door cracked under pressure. Elias clenched his hands slowly. Lyra held her breath. And the truth about humans was about to be revealed. Asterisk, the alarm echoed through the corridor. But it faded after a short time. The shaking stopped. The door sealed again. The danger passed without entering the room. Lyra stood frozen behind Elias. Her heart still raced. She waited for him to react with anger or force. But he slowly relaxed his hands and stepped back. It is over, he said. His voice stayed calm like the alarm never happened. Station control announced the breach was contained. No injuries reported. Lyra finally breathed again. She looked at Elias with new eyes. He had not asked what the danger was. He had not prepared weapons. He had simply stood ready. That scared her more than noise or claws. After the alert, Elias returned to the window. The stars outside moved slowly. Endless, silent, patient. You may continue your work, he said. Lyra nodded, but her hands trembled. She cleaned the room. But her thoughts were no longer focused on dust or order. They were filled with questions. Later that day, she left the human sector and entered the shared maintenance hall. Other alien workers were gathered there. They spoke in low tones. Did you hear the breach alarm? One asked near. The human quarters, another replied. A few eyes turned toward Lyra. You work for the human now, someone said. Lyra hesitated, then nodded. A tall alien leaned closer. You should be careful, he whispered. Humans are calm until they are not. Another worker added. My cousin served on a station with humans. Once they do not show strength until the last moment. Lyra listened quietly. Why would they hide it? She asked. The aliens exchanged looks. Because when humans stop holding back, things end, one said. The words stayed with her. When her shift ended, she returned to Elias' room. He was sitting at the table reviewing old data pads. No guard, no shield. She gathered courage. Why did the station assign me to you? She asked. Elias looked up slowly. Because I do not need guards, he said. Because fear creates problems. That answer did not satisfy her. They fear you, she said softly. Yes, he replied. Why do you allow it? Elias paused. His eyes rested on the table, not on her. Because fear keeps distance, he said. Distance keeps peace. Lyra did not fully understand, but she felt the weight behind his words. Days passed. Lyra learned his routine. He woke early. He trained alone, using only his body, no machines. Slow, controlled movements. Not aggressive, but precise. She watched from the doorway sometimes. He never stopped her. Other aliens avoided the area more than before. Rumors spread. The human did not panic during the breach. The human did not raise weapons. The human simply stood. Whispers grew louder. One cycle, Lyra was sent to collect supplies from the lower deck. 2 security officers stopped her. You are assigned to the human unit, one said. Yes, she replied. Stay alert. The other said, if something happens, signal us immediately. She nodded, though. She did not feel danger from Elias. She felt something else. A quiet pressure, like standing near a storm that had not formed yet. That night another alarm sounded. Not a breach. A systems failure. Lights dimmed across the station. Emergency lighting activated. Lyra was inside Elias' room when it happened. She stiffened again. Her species reacted to darkness with fear. Elias noticed immediately. Sit, he said gently. He guided her to a chair. He knelt in front of her, bringing his eyes level with hers. Breathe slowly, he said. Follow my voice. She did. Her fear eased. Slightly. Why are you helping me? She asked. Because you are afraid, he said. That is reason enough. The lights flickered back on moments later. Lyra stared at him. Humans were not supposed to be like this. Later she lay awake in her quarters, unable to rest. Her mind replayed every movement, every word. The whispers echoed again. Humans end things when pushed. She realized something important. Elias was not weak. He was controlled. That control required more strength than rage. Next day, station security requested Elias' presence. The council wanted answers about the breach and the alarms. Lyra accompanied him. Alien eyes followed them through the halls. Elias walked calmly, hands visible, posture relaxed. Lyra stayed close. She felt something shift around them. Fear mixed with curiosity. Inside the council chamber, the air felt heavy. The test was beginning, and Lyra knew one thing now. If humans ever stopped holding back, the galaxy would not be ready, and Elias had been holding back for a very long time. The council chamber was larger than Lyra expected. Cold light reflected off smooth walls. Symbols of many alien species glowed softly above the seats. It was a place built to control emotion and display order. Elias walked in without hesitation. Lyra followed one step behind him. She could feel the tension in the air. Every eye tracked the human. Some with fear, some with anger, some with deep curiosity. Elias stopped at the center of the room. He did not bow. He did not resist. He simply stood. You were present during the breach, one council member said. Yes. Elias replied. Why did you not activate station defenses? Another asked. Because there was no need. Elias sighed. A low murmur spread across the chamber. The council leader leaned forward. Humans are known for fast escalation. The leader said. Your response was unusual. Elias met their gaze. Control is a human skill, he said quietly. Lyra felt the weight of that sentence. The council exchanged signals. Silent agreement passed between them. We will conduct a security evaluation, the leader announced, to assess risk. Lyra felt fear rise in her chest. Elias did not react. He was escorted to a lower deck training zone, a sealed chamber used for testing dangerous species. Lyra was ordered to observe. The doors closed behind them. The lights dimmed. Begin Phase 1. The system announced. Floor shifted. Mechanical barriers rose around Elias. No weapons were provided. Lyra stepped back. Her heart pounded. This is wrong, she thought. A creature emerged from the far end of the chamber. Large, armored, fast. A predator species known for aggression. Lyra gasped. Elias remained still. The creature charged. Lyra wanted to scream. Elias moved. Not fast, not wild. Just precise. He stepped aside at the last moment, using the creature momentum against it. He struck once. Not to kill. To disable. The predator crashed into the wall unconscious. Silence followed. Lyra covered her mouth. That was not luck. Phase 2 initiated. The system said. More creatures entered. To this time. Elias breathed slowly. His posture changed slightly. Balanced, grounded. He avoided every strike. He redirected force. He used the environment. No wasted motion. No anger. Lyra watched in awe and fear. This was a human without limits, but still holding back. The creatures fell one by one. Phase 3 announced. The chamber temperature dropped. Lights flickered. Stress conditions increased. The council wanted him to fail. Elias showed no sign of strain. Lyra felt tears form. Not from fear, but from understanding. Humans were not born monsters. They became careful. The test ended. Abruptly. The doors opened. The council watched in silence. Elias stood untouched. Calm as before. That is enough, the leader said. Lyra rushed to his side. Are you hurt? She asked. No, Elias replied. Why did you not end them? She asked quietly. Because they were not the threat, Elias said back in the chamber. The council debated. He passed the test, one said. Hid his strength, another replied. That makes him dangerous. Lyra stepped forward. He hid it to protect others, she said. The chamber went silent. Speak for him, the leader said. Yes, Lyra replied. I saw fear in him only once, when he thought I was afraid. That changed the tone. Elias was dismissed. No punishment, no praise. Outside the chamber, Lyra walked beside him. Why do you stay here? She asked. Elias looked at the stars through a viewpot. Because this place believes I am small, he said. That makes it safe. Lyra realized the truth. Humans did not conquer the galaxy because they chose not to. That choice made them the most dangerous of all, and Elias was proof of that. Restraint. As they returned to their quarters, Lyra felt the future shift. The council had seen enough. They would not forget, and neither would she. The test of fear was over. The test of trust had just begun. The station felt different after the test. The corridors were quieter. Conversations stopped when Elias passed. Eyes followed him from a distance. Not with anger now, but with caution. Lyra noticed everything. She walked beside Elias as they returned to his living unit. No guards followed them. No one dared to stand close. The space around the human felt wider than before. Inside the room, Elias sat at the table. He placed his datapad down and rested his hands flat. His breathing was steady, controlled. Lyra stood near the doorway, unsure of what to say. You should not have spoken for me in the chamber, Elias said. His voice was calm, not upset. Lyra shook her head. Someone needed to tell the truth, she replied. Elias looked at her for a long moment. Truth is heavy, he said. People drop it when it becomes inconvenient. She did not answer. She waited. After a while, Elias stood and walked to a small storage unit. He removed a thin metal box and placed it on the table. I did not plan to share this, he said, but the council will search soon. He opened the box. Inside were old images and records. Star systems burning. Ships broken in space. Names marked as lost. Lyra felt her chest tighten. This was the war, she whispered. Yes, Elias said, the one everyone fears. He began to explain. Humans had not entered the galaxy with peace. They had arrived desperate, cornered, and strong. When attacked, they responded with full force. Not rage, but efficiency. They won too quickly. Planets fell. Fleets vanished. Enemies surrendered in fear. And then the humans saw what they had become. We scared ourselves, Elias said quietly. Lyra listened without moving. So we stopped, he continued. We placed limits on ourselves. Laws training restraint. Why, he asked softly. Why did you not rule everything? Elias met her eyes. Because ruling through fear never ends, he said. It only waits for revenge. The room was silent. Lyra understood now. Humans did not hide their strength because they were ashamed. They hid it because they were afraid of what would happen if they did not. The station lights dimmed slightly. A signal passed through the walls. Council activity. They are debating you, Lyra said. Elias nodded. They always do when they sense power. A message appeared on the wall screen. Council summons immediate presence requested. Lyra felt her fear return. They will try to remove you, she said, or isolate you. Elias stood. That is acceptable, he said. No, Lyra replied quickly. They are wrong. Elias paused. Why do you care? He asked. Lyra struggled for words. Because you chose restraint, she said. My species is weak. We survive by obeying stronger ones. She stepped closer. You are strong, and you choose control. That matters. Elias looked away. In the council chamber, the atmosphere was colder than before. The leaders spoke in firm, measured tones. The human poses long-term risk. One said his restraint is voluntary. Another added, if he removes it, we cannot stop him. Lyra stepped forward again. Restraint is a choice, she said, not a flaw. The leader looked at her. And choices can change, Elias spoke. So can trust, he said. Silence followed. The council proposed a solution. Elias would remain but under observation. Lyra would be reassigned as liaison, not Maid. The words struck her. You want me to watch him? She asked. To understand him, the leader replied. Elias glanced at Lyra. You do not have to accept, he said. Lyra lifted her head. I accept, she said. The decision was made. As they left the chamber, Lyra felt the weight of responsibility settle on her. Back in the corridor, she spoke. They fear you more now, she said. Elias nodded. Fear grows when understanding begins, he replied. She looked at him. Will you ever stop holding back? She asked. Elias thought for a long time. Only if someone I protect is threatened, he said. Lyra realized something then. The galaxy was safe not because humans were weak. It was safe because humans cared. And that truth was far more dangerous than strength alone. The station lights returned to normal. But the balance had changed. The truth about humans was no longer hidden. And the consequences were coming. The next cycle began with tension heavy in the air. Lyra could feel it as soon as she stepped into the corridor. The station was awake but uneasy. Systems hummed louder than usual. Security drones moved more often. Every screen carried silent alerts. The council had not slept. Neither had Lyra. She walked toward Elias' room with steady steps. Her role had changed. She was no longer just a maid. She was a liaison. A witness. Someone expected to report signs of danger, but when she entered the room, she saw the same calm space as always. Elias was preparing a simple meal. No rush, no concern that they are watching you more closely now. Lyra said. Elias nodded. I expected that, he replied. She studied him. Does it bother you? She asked. No, he said. Observation is better than fear. Lyra wondered how someone so powerful could remain so patient. Later that day the council summoned Elias again. This time it was not an interview. It was a public session. Representatives from multiple species filled the chamber. News drones hovered silently. Lyra stood beside Elias. The council leader spoke. Recent events have raised concerns about human restraint and intent. The leader said. Murmurs spread through the room. We will conduct a final evaluation. One continued, this time through moral choice, not combat. Lyra felt a chill. What kind of evaluation? She asked. The leader gestured, and a screen lit up. Footage appeared. A simulated crisis. A damaged civilian transport trapped near a star well. Limited time. Limited rescue capacity. You may save only one group, the leader said. Screen split. On one side, a group of high-ranking alien officials. On the other side, a ship filled with unknown civilians from mixed species. Lyra understood immediately. They wanted to see his values. Elias stepped forward. This is not a fair test, he said. No tests are fair, the leader replied. That is the point. Silence followed. Lyra watched Elias' face carefully. She expected anger. She expected conflict. She saw sadness. He studied the screen for a long moment. Then he spoke. I choose the civilians, he said. The chamber reacted instantly. Gasps, protests, confusion. The officials on screen were powerful, influential. The leader narrowed his eyes. Even if it risks political fallout, he asked. Elias nodded. Lives matter more than power, he said. Lyra felt her chest tighten. The simulation ended. The council fell silent. Some members looked uneasy, others angry. The leader finally spoke. This choice confirms our concern, he said. You prioritize emotion over order. Elias responded calmly. Order without compassion creates ruin, he said. Humans learned that the hard way. Lyra stepped forward before fear could stop her. He chose the weak, she said. That should matter. The council dismissed the session abruptly. Outside the chamber, voices erupted. Arguments, accusations, fear. As they returned to the living sector, Lyra spoke quietly. They may try to remove you, she said. Or send you away, Elias. Not a. That is acceptable, he repeated. Lyra stopped. Walking. No, it is not, she said. He turned to her. Why, she asked again. Why do you accept exile so easily? Elias looked at her for a long time. Because survival taught humans one thing, he said. Not every place is meant to keep you. Lyra felt something break inside her. That night alarm sounded again. Real this time. Multiple breaches, coordinated. Unknown. Hostiles boarded the station. Security systems failed. The council panicked. Lyra ran toward Elias' room. She found him already standing alert. They came faster than expected, he said. You knew this would happen, she whispered. Fear invites challenge, Elias said. Explosions echoed through the station. Aliens screamed in distant halls. Security teams collapsed under pressure. The council broadcast a desperate message. All units retreat. All units retreat. Lyra looked at Elias. They will die, she said. Elias closed his eyes briefly. Then he opened them. Stay here, he said. No, Lyra replied. I stand with you. Elias hesitated. Nodded. He moved. Not like before. Faster, stronger, more decisive. He did not seek to kill. He disabled, threatened, redirected. Lyra followed, guiding frightened aliens to safety. For the first time she saw Elias unleash more than restraint. Not rage. Resolve. When the attack ended, the station was damaged, but standing. The invaders were gone. The council watched in silence from secured chambers. They saw the truth. The human had not fought for power. He fought for everyone. Lyra stood beside him as the smoke cleared. She realized something then. She had not stood with a human because he was strong. She stood with him because he was right. And the galaxy would never forget what happened next. The station did not celebrate after the attack. There was no music, no speeches, no pride. Only silence broken by repair drones and distant voices. Smoke stains marked the walls. Broken panels flickered with weak light. Lyra walked through the corridor, helping the injured. Many aliens looked at her with new respect. Some with fear, some with gratitude. All of them glanced past her toward Elias. He stood near the central hall, watching the work quietly. His posture was relaxed again. The storm had passed. The calm returned. The council gathered in emergency session. This time there were no raised voices. Only tired faces and careful words. The leader spoke first. The station survived because of the human, he said. No one argued. Another member added, he exceeded our projections. He acted without command. Yet he did not take control. Lyra listened from the side. He protected civilians, one said. He guided evacuations. He neutralized threats without killing. Fear had changed shape. It was no longer wild panic. It was respect mixed with uncertainty. Elias was called into the chamber again. This time no guard surrounded him. You stopped holding back, the leader said. Only enough, Elias replied. The leader studied him. Why not finish them, he asked. Why not ensure they never return? Elias answered slowly. Because ending a threat does not mean destroying it, he said. It means removing its reason to exist. Chamber was silent. Lyra felt pride rise in her chest. Council member leaned forward. You understand that others will fear you more now, one said. Elias nodded. That is the cost, he replied. Another member asked. Would you do it again? Elias did not hesitate. Yes, he said. The council dismissed him with a new order. Human Elias Ward will remain on station as protector, advisor, and independent unit. Lyra felt her breath catch. This was not exile. This was trust. Outside the chamber, Lyra walked beside Elias. They changed your role, she said. They named what already existed. Elias replied. She looked at him. Are you angry? No, he said. Calmly, angry clouds judgment. They stopped near a viewport. Stars drifted beyond the glass. Lyra gathered courage. When you fought, she said, I felt it like pressure, like gravity changing. Elias nodded. Humans feel it too, he said. That is why we limit it. She looked at her hands. My species was taught to obey strength. She said we survive by submission. Elias turned toward her. Survival is not living, he said. The word stayed with her. Later that cycle, a message arrived from outside the station. A distant coalition requested information. Rumors of the human defense had spread fast. They want to know what you are, Elias. Lyra said. Elias read the message, then closed it. Let them wonder, he said. Mystery keeps peace longer than answers. Security increased. Ships passed nearby more often. None docked. Lyra noticed Elias training again. This time his movements were different. Sharper, faster, more deliberate. He was not preparing for war. He was preparing for restraint. She watched quietly. One day she asked, if the galaxy forces you to choose, what will you choose? Elias stopped moving. He thought for a long time. I will choose people, he said. Not sides, not power. People. Lyra realized then what truly frightened the galaxy. Humans did not obey systems. They obeyed values. That night a small group of aliens approached Lyra privately. You stand with the human, one said. Yes, Lyra replied. If others come for him, another asked. Then they come through us, Lyra said. The group exchanged looks. They nodded. The station was changing. Not because of force. Because of example. Elias walked the halls unnoticed now. No alarms sounded. No tests followed. But everyone knew, if danger returned, the human would stand again. And this time he would not stand alone. Lyra looked at the stars once more. Humans were not the strongest species. They were the most controlled. And when control was released even slightly, the universe paid attention. The galaxy had seen a human stop holding back. It would never forget what that meant. Asterisk. The station entered a long quiet phase after the attack. Repairs finished. Systems stabilized. Life returned slowly. But nothing felt the same. Lyra sensed it every day. Aliens walked with more purpose. Fear no longer ruled their steps. Conversations carried hope mixed with caution. The human presence had changed the rhythm of the station. Elias continued his work as before. He did not accept titles openly. Protector, advisor, independent unit were words others used, not him. He simply lived and helped where needed. Lyra remained at his side. One cycle, a high-level transmission arrived from the outer systems. The Galactic Coalition requested direct contact. Not observation. Not surveillance. Dialogue. The council gathered again. This time the chamber felt different. Less cold, less distant. They want you to speak for humans, the leader said. Leader said in quietly. I do not speak for all humans, he replied. You speak for what we have seen, the leader said. Lyra felt the weight of that moment. The transmission was opened. Holographic figures appeared from many species. Leaders, warriors, thinkers. All watching the human. The galaxy has observed your actions, one voice said. You could have taken power, another said. You could have demanded authority, a third added. Elias stood calmly. I did not come to rule, he said. I came to live. Silence followed. Why do humans restrain themselves? The coalition asked. Elias answered honestly. Because strength without control destroys everything, including itself. He said the words carried across space. Lyra saw reactions shift. Fear softened. Curiosity grew. What will humans do next? The coalition asked. Elias paused. Nothing, he said, until we are needed. Transmission ended. The council turned to him. You have changed perception across systems, the leader said. Elias shook his head. Actions change perception. He replied, not words. Lyra walked with him afterward through the quiet corridor. They will watch humans differently, now, she said. Good, Elias replied. Watching leads to learning. She stopped near a VIEWPOR. What will you do now? She asked. Elias looked at the stars. I will stay, he said, as long as I am useful. Lyra smiled softly. You already are. Days passed into cycles. The station became a place others visited again. Traders, diplomats, researchers. They spoke of humans with new tone. Not fear. Respect. Lyra noticed something else. Other species began changing too. Security trained in restraint, not aggression. Leaders discussed protection, not domination. Small shifts but real. One evening, Lyra joined Elias by the window. "I was sent here to observe you," she said, and now she continued, "I feel observed myself." Elias glanced at her. "How so?" he asked. "My species has always followed stronger ones," she said. "But you showed another way." She faced him. "You showed me choice." Elias listened carefully. "Choice is the beginning of freedom," he said. She nodded. "I choose to stay," she said, "not as a maid, not as a liaison, but as myself." Elias smiled gently. "That is enough." He sighed. A final message arrived weeks later. The station was reclassified, neutral ground. Human presence acknowledged and protected. The council voted unanimously. Lyra, read the notice twice. The galaxy had decided humans were no longer a threat to be hidden. They were a force to be understood. The station lights glowed softly that night. Calm, peaceful. Lyra stood beside Elias watching ships drift past. "Do you think the galaxy is ready?" she asked. Elias thought for a long moment. "Not fully," he said, "but readiness grows with patience." She leaned against the window. "And if war comes again," Elias answered without hesitation, "then humans will stand," he said, "not above, not below." But with Lyra felt warmth spread through her chest. The choice had been made long ago. Humans chose restraint. They chose care. They chose to protect even those who feared them. That choice changed the galaxy more than conquest ever could. The stars continued their slow dance. And somewhere between fear and hope, the future waited, ready at last to understand humanity.